Ciao, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Today on Ciao Italia, risotto al mare. Ciao, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Welcome to Italy, and let's cook real Italian. Aren't they gorgeous? Swiss chard. I knew you said that. I'm in heaven. Think about how healthy this is. That's for you. Sundae sauce. All 20 regions of Italy are fabulous. And every time I do this, I think of my Nonna Galasso because she always made it this way. You want a Goldilocks dough, just right. Who doesn't like basil, especially in the summer? Obviously, you have to have pesto sauce at some point, right? I mean, I'm a cook. Why can't I try it? You're the best.
No, you're the best.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling happy as a clam today. You know why? Because we're going to make a risotto al mare. Doesn't that sound beautiful in Italian? Risotto al mare, which means a rice dish with seafood. Mare means sea. So I'm just cleaning off the last of the little neck clams. So when you buy them in the grocery store, you want to make sure you bring them home and you really scrub them well. So these have been well washed. And the other thing, make sure none of these are cracked. Because if they're cracked, you can't use them. You'd have to throw them out. So these are all cleaned, ready to go. And we're going to open them in a little pan. You got to have that noise. So we're going to add a little water to this. Maybe about 1/4 cup. That's all you need. What I want to have happen here is have these clams open for me because I need to use not only the clams but also their liquid. So I'm going to turn on the heat here, and with that I'm going to add some thyme, some fresh thyme, and some parsley. Just going to throw that in, and a clove of garlic goes in. Cover the pan. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to cover the pan. I'm going to leave it a little bit ajar because I don't want to have to clean the stove if the whole thing goes over the top. So now I'm going to let that cook until those clams open. So let me show you what we're dealing with here today. So you know what? Pasta is to southern Italy what beans are to central Italy, what rice is to northern Italy. And because we're making risotto today, we're going right to the Veneto. Yes, we are. But you can also find really delicious rice dishes in the region of Lombardia as well, because that's where your cottoletto with risotto originated. But today, we're talking about risotto al mare from the Veneto. So let me get the seafood that we need for this. So, you can use any kind of seafood for this. You could use shrimp, you could use scallops, you could use calamari, and that's what I'm using today. Calamari or squid, and sea scallops. Make sure when you go to the fishmonger, you're buying dry pack sea scallops. So the first thing I do is take those scallops and put them on paper towel. I really want to dry them off well so that they'll sear nicely when I'm cooking them. So you want to dry them off. Usually I do this, you know, like a ½ hour ahead of time. And the same for the calamari. I know some of you are squirming already, but you know what? If you haven't eaten squid, you have missed out. So you put that on paper like that. I'm going to get another piece of paper towel just to wipe that squid down a little bit. Clean it off, press on it to get all that water off. Great! Now we have to cut that up, but I have to check my clams because let me see. Not yet. We'll give it maybe another minute or two. Okay, so why don't we deal with these scallops first? So you want to cut those in half. You get a knife. And when you go to the Veneto, of course, there's so many wonderful seafood dishes, especially if you go to the Rialto fish market early in the morning. You see all the fishermen there with all of their different catches. It's just wonderful. So it's just natural that you would find a lot of seafood dishes in the Veneto. So I'm cutting these in half because I'm cheap. You know, this is going to feed a lot more people if you cut them in half. For the squid, though, we want to cut that into rings. Now I can hear my pot boiling back there, so I've got to stop and go. Okay, some of them are starting to open. You can see right here, look, they're opening up, but we want all of them to open. And if some of them don't open, well, then we've got to discard those. We've got to throw them away. All right, here's the last of the scallops. I'm going to put them right back onto the paper towel. That's a lot. And now you're just going to have to sing the song while I cut up all of this calamari. This has already been cleaned, as you can see. But if we were having this in the Veneto, of course, this would come with the tentacles, and you would clean it yourself at home. But a lot of people are pretty squeamish when it comes to a squid. But I love it, not only like this, but I love it as fried calamari or stuffed calamari. You could stuff these bodies with a mixture of vegetables, herbs, delicious. At home, we always used to do it when my mother made it. We always did it with tomato sauce. Of course, I never ate it then because I didn't like it, but now I love it. And that's a pound of calamari as well. This is going to make some risotto. Let me tell you, this is going to be really tasty. Okay, I hear my pot boiling back there, and I've got to check those clams because the worst thing you can do to clams is overcook them so that they're rubbery. All right, they're looking beautiful. Let me get a spoon. I'm going to get a slotted spoon. Let's see. Yep, they're looking good. I'm going to take them out. So we want to turn off the heat now, and we have to drain them. But we want to keep that liquid. All that liquid is going to be flavor. Beautiful. Now all we have to do is let them cool a little bit until we can handle them. So let me finish the last of the calamari, or the squid. I actually know somebody whose last name is calamari. I said, do you know what calamari means? He didn't really. I said, we can just call you Tom Squid. He didn't like that too well. Okay, and there is the last of the calamari. All right, now we need to shuck the clams. First of all, let me show you. You see all that juice? That came from the 1/4 cup of water that I added to these before we cook them. And then, of course, the clams exuded the juices within them themselves. So we want to save that. So I have some fish stock here that I made. And I'm going to add this clam juice right to it because when we make the risotto, we need to have about 4 cups of liquid. So I may have to add some extra bottled clam juice to that later on. But anyway, so here are those clams. And now I'm going to show you, just so easy to get it out. You just pull them out. And I don't know if you don't like clams, well, then you can eliminate this and you can use shrimp. But I would buy shrimp in the shell and do the same thing with the shrimp that I did with the clams. You add water and allow the shrimp to cook just until they start to curl. So a 1/2 pound of the clams, or 1/2 pound of the scallops, 1/2 pound of the calamari would be great to serve 4 people. If you want to double the recipe, then use a whole pound and 2 cups of the arborio rice. Once you've got these shucked, though, it looks like you don't have anything. But this is going to be plenty mixed with the rest of the seafood. And every one of these opened, so I didn't have to throw out any clams that didn't open. Okay. See? Looks like a little tiny bit. Okay, now let's get the pan going to cook the rest of the seafood. Okay, the pan is hot. I'm going to add some olive oil. Use extra virgin olive oil, obviously. And let that really coat or film the base of the pan. You'll know it's ready when you start to see it smoking. You see how that's smoking? So I know that that's ready. And the first thing we're going to do is cook the scallops. Everything goes into one pan, but they cook at their own rate because they're different thicknesses. So I'm going to do the scallops first. And I cut up a whole pound of scallops. But for serving 4 people, you really only need about a half a pound. So I'm going to put a few more in. A little sea salt over the scallops, and a grinding of pepper. And this has nothing to do with Venice, but I want to tell you a story about the first time I ever ate scallops. I was on Cape Cod with my family, and of course you can't get better seafood than on Cape Cod. And we were down at the pier one day where the fishermen were bringing in the scallops. So I went up to one of them and I said, "How do you cook the scallops?" And he took a scallop, a raw scallop, and he ate it. And he said, "Just like that." Which told me, well, you don't want to really overcook these things. So just want to get a little crust on them. But you really don't want to overcook the scallops because they're going to be in the risotto. They're going to be put with the rice. So as soon as they start to get just a little tinge of color on them and start to turn a little bit opaque, that's when you want to take them out. So I'm going to give them just a couple more minutes here. We got to take these out now. So I'm going to take them out and put them into just another pan because, as I told you, each of these seafood cook differently. Now we already have the clams cooked, so we only have to cook the squid next. All right. They smell absolutely delicious, and I know that they're really sweet because they're fresh. Okay, so here we have now the calamari. Again, I've got a pound of it, but I'm only going to cook a half a pound. Put a little bit more olive oil in my pan there. Get that going. And add the calamari rings. So we want a half a pound of that as well. And we're going to do the same thing to that we did to the scallops. We're going to give them a little bit of salt and pepper and let them get a little bit of a color on them. I wash my hands again. That's so important when you're cooking in the kitchen that you wash your hands frequently. All right, salt. Now, I like to use sea salt. Sea salt has a much better flavor than iodized salt. And again, a grinding of pepper. And we let those go. These are going to take a little longer because calamari has a different texture. It's a little chewier, so it's going to take a little longer to cook. Calamari are ready, so we're going to take those out and put them in a pile in our same dish that we have our scallops in. And then we add our clams. And that's our trio of seafood that we're going to use to put with the risotto. So now we have to get the rice going. Now, to make the rice, We need to start with a little olive oil in the pan, or you could use butter. But the important thing is to use a heavy-duty pan. This is a cast iron pan. I'm not saying you have to have a cast iron pan, but the heaviest pan that you have is going to give you a better risotto because it's going to hold the heat in while the rice is cooking. So we have our oil, and we want to start with some onion first. So you want, 1 onion. This is more than I need, but I'm going to put, that is plenty. The important thing here is to soften the onion, but not to brown it. You don't want to brown it. Risotto pretty much stays white. So while the onions are cooking, I want to talk to you about the rice. This is arborio rice. This is the classic type of rice that's used to make risotto. It is a short grain rice that's very, very starchy. If you compared this rice to, let's say, just the regular rice that you boil to have with, any meal at home that's not an arborio type rice, it doesn't have the starch content that this rice has. And so this is what you need because you're going to be adding liquid a little bit at a time as the rice is cooking, and that liquid is what allows this risotto to be creamy because of the starch that's in the rice. So we have 1 cup of arborio. Our onions are soft. I'm going to add just a tad more of olive oil. You could also do this with a combination of olive oil and butter if you wanted to. 1 cup of arborio rice goes in. And then you get your trusty risotto spoon. Isn't this neat? This is really made for risotto because the grains can go in and out of the hole. And what you want to do here is coat these grains of rice, have to be coated in the oil. And why are you doing that? Because you want the rice to remain separate. We're not looking for clumped rice here. We want rice that's going to flow, as the Venetians say, all'onda, on the wave. So you mix the rice with the olive oil and the onion until those grains of rice are well coated. I love this spoon. It's made by my friend Terry Miri, who makes beautiful Italian implements for all kinds of Italian cooking. So the rice is looking good, and now I'm going to turn the heat up, and you see how blonde this all looks. It's not colored at all. It's just blonde. Now we're going to add some wine to this. So let me turn the heat up. And for this you want, just some white wine. Any wine that you like to drink is good enough to cook with. So a dry white wine, maybe a Soave, a Pinot Grigio, any of those would be fine. But don't use cooking wine, because cooking wine, first of all, has a horrible taste, and it's loaded with all kinds of other stuff. So just a bit of wine goes in, I would say about 1/4 cup. So that's 1/4 cup. And you let that just cook off, stirring the rice. And it's smelling absolutely beautiful right now. And did I tell you that seafood dishes are never ever mixed with cheese? Yeah. The Italians do not believe in mixing seafood dishes with cheese because there's a competition in what the flavor is going to taste like. They want the seafood to shine through. I love this spoon because the rice just flows right through it. Thank you, Terry. All right, I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit on this now. And you remember that the clam juice is in this container. You want about 4 cups of liquid, and it can be a combination of things. You can have fish stock. I've got some fish stock in here that I made ahead of time. You could just use canned fish stock if you didn't have your own. You can use clam juice. You can use chicken broth if you wanted to, but I wanted to stay with the seafood theme. So this has got the clam broth and it's got the fish stock. So we're going to add this a little bit at a time. So I would say maybe about, 1/4 cup goes in. And this is the secret to risotto, the stirring that goes on. And you allow every addition of the liquid that you add to be absorbed by the rice. Now, again, this is you know, the technique is a lot like cooking pasta in the sense that the rice cannot be mushy. The rice has to remain al dente, so it will have a little bit of a bite to it, but it's cooked through. We don't add the seafood to this until the very end. So when the pan looks somewhat dry, then you can add more liquid. Now, I may not use all of this liquid. When will I know that the rice has enough liquid in it? I'm going to taste this. And if it tastes like it's done, well, then it's done. And all of this comes with, of course, experience of making risotto. So we allow this addition of liquid to be absorbed, and as the rice is cooking, it's going to increase in volume. So now, for a cup of dried arborio rice, you're going to have about 3 cups of cooked rice when this is all plumped up. So you have to have patience when you make risotto. Al dente, which means that it's not overcooked. So now we need to add some lemon zest. So just to really give it that nice Sprite-y additional flavor. And we need to use some of the juice. I'm not going to worry about the pits. If they're in there, too bad. So some lemon juice, fresh lemon juice, goes in. And now I'm going to turn that heat down, and we add all of that seafood that we cooked. Goes in. And we combine this all together for this gorgeous seafood risotto. Okay. And that rice is hot enough to keep all that seafood warm too. So now, hold on one second. I want all of this out. Gorgeous. And just a little bit of color from some parsley. Just snipped right over the top. No cheese, remember. And, if you wanted to, a little knob of butter to melt right into that. 1 cup of rice, look what it yield. Enough rice, 3 cups full, and the seafood to serve 4 people. And that's how you do risotto al mare. Rice is nice, but it's even better when it's risotto, made with arborio rice. Remember, that was that short grain starchy rice that I told you about. And here we have arborio rice that we mixed with 3 kinds of seafood: clams, scallops, and calamari, or squid. And it's all ready for the eating. Risotto al mare. You have to try it. And until I see you nella cucina again, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Ciao!